Hey everybody, I am Heiselin with Austin Entertainment Management here for our weekly show. I am here with Mike Swear Words. How you doing today, Mike?
What's up, guys? I'm doing good. How you doing, Heidi?
Awesome, because I've got my good friend Sarah Pace here with us today from Wanderlust Elevated, and she was our guest on our Monday monthly AEM networking and education meeting. And she had the greatest little mini workshop with worksheets and stuff like that to help you think about things for your branding. So it was so good. We decided that we needed to kind of continue this conversation into today. So welcome, Sarah Pace. How are you today?
I am great. Thank you for having me on.
Awesome. So in particular today, we're going to be talking about the colors that you choose for your brand, why it's important, what it means. Mike, did you put a lot of thought into what colors you used for your logo?
So for me, honestly, no, and I feel like I should have because I used kind of some random colors, honestly. And I thought that, hey, if I use some random colors, maybe it'll pop out and give this certain effect. It'll be like attractive. But now I'm realizing like attractive to who? That's my problem.
Nice. So we're going to talk more about that in just a little bit. But first, we've got our announcements for what's going on this week. So let's see. Where should I start? I am going to start actually with talking about Sunday for Jacksonville, Florida people. It's another monthly Jacksonville meetup. And you can get more information by going to their Instagram at Music Meetup Jacks. And it's going to be at Pine Studios. It'll start at 6 p.m. It's a really great way to get to know the other musicians that are in town. And if you're watching this and you are in a completely different community than Jacksonville, but you know about a music meetup that you want us to talk about, you want to come on and talk about your music meetup, just reach out to me and let me know. I'd be happy to talk about your group and what you're doing and shed some extra promotion on that. So that is Sunday, music meetup, Jacksonville. Okay. The next update that I want to talk about is Pharmapalooza. So that is Friday, June 9th and 10th. This is in Wisconsin, appropriately located in the middle of a farmer's field. And there's going to be free camping. It's going to be a really great weekend if you enjoy metal. And so Austin Entertainment Management is a sponsor of this event. And so what we're doing is spotlighting the bands that are playing at this festival. So I've been reaching out to all the bands to arrange time to set up an interview. And those interviews are going to be released on Fridays. So all of this is getting set up. I don't have an interview for this Friday, but what I have for you is I have updated the website. Oh, I thought I was going to have it nice and handy so I could quickly just share it. Oh, yes, here it is. So I've updated the website. Ignore that thumbnail. I got to update that. But I've got all of the bands listed here. And you can click on the Learn More button, and it's going to take you to one of their pages. So you can find out all the cool stuff about them, listen to their music, find out more about who they are. So all 14 bands are right here on our website. And at the very bottom, you can click here for more info and tickets. It's going to take you to the Facebook event page where you can find out more if you want to attend. All right. So that's what's going on with Pharmapalooza. I also want to mention that through Austin Entertainment Management and our partners, we have a lot of events going on through the week. And because we're a global community, a lot of these events are virtual. So if you go to hallisthebomb.com/events, you're going to find out what weekly events we have going on, what monthly events we have going on, and what special events we have going on. And so on Tuesdays, there's an awesome networking group called the Laws of Life that you can go to. Wednesdays, right after this live stream, is a great summit hosted by the Essential Academy, and that's an international summit. And on Thursdays is the Laws of Life of empowering entrepreneurs, and that one is live, a lot similar to ours, and they have some really inspiring guests that come on there that they interview. So those are just 3 things that happen every week that you can check out, and you can go to hallisthebomb.com/events to see that happen. All right. Sarah, you've been to some of those events before. What do you think about the Laws of Life?
It's amazing. I always come out of it so inspired.
I totally agree with you. I use that time almost more so to get recharged and to get new ideas of what I can be working on. So this is why I share this with you. You know, all of the great musicians, all of the great athletes, all of the great actors, they have coaches, they have mentors, and they have community. So that's a lot of what we're doing here with Austin Entertainment Management, is connecting people to those resources, to inspiration, and most importantly, accountability, because that is the key ingredient that's actually going to make you act on things. So let's see, is that all my events I want to talk about this week? I believe so, but now I want to introduce to you our very, very special music supporter with Austin Entertainment Management, Jacksonville, Florida. Stay Tuned Studios. They're a really great place that you can go and you can practice. You can get professional videos done. This is a great community space too, because there's other people practicing, so you run into them in the hallway, so it's a good place that you can meet people. So I want to tell you guys about Mondays at Stay Tuned Studios. You can rent any of their studio rooms for only $25 per hour on Mondays. So if you're in Jacksonville, Florida, you're looking for a place to rehearse with your band, you're looking for some place just to get away from the house and work on music where nobody can interrupt you, this is a perfect opportunity for that. And I forgot to turn on the information for that. Here we go. We'll leave that scrolling on the bottom for a little bit. You can go to their website, staytunedstudios.com, to get more information. Give them a call, find out more. That's pretty awesome, isn't it, Mike? We were just talking about that before the show, having a place to go, like, out of the house, no interruptions.
Yeah, especially for that price too, you really can't beat that. That sounds great.
Yes. Yes, exactly. So take advantage of that if you're in Jacksonville. And now I think we're ready to talk more about colors. Are you guys ready to talk about colors?
I am.
Absolutely.
All right, awesome. So once a month, Austin Entertainment Management does an educational and networking meeting. And so at the beginning of the year, we've been talking a lot about what's going on up here in your head and who you are and things like that. And as we go further into the year, we're going to go further away from looking internally and start to look externally and start to focus more on business topics and things that you might be missing that is actually holding back your progress. And some of these things aren't a big deal, and some of these things are actually a lot of fun to put together. But if you don't know about it and you're missing it, well, that's a problem. So today we want to talk more about colors, but first, let's do a little recap of our meeting on Monday. So I started the meeting and we were talking about what we value and figure out what our top qualities are that we value in ourselves. And so we did a little exercise with a troll named Trevor and having to cross over 3 bridges. And so every time you cross over one of these bridges, you had to give away 30% of your qualities. And everybody had written down like a big list of all their qualities. Good, bad qualities, didn't matter. Big, long list. But every time you crossed a bridge, you had to give away 30% of those qualities. And at the end, you were only left with 10%. And these are the ones that you really, really value, the ones that are most important to you, that make up the essence of you. So, Mike, when you did this exercise, what are some things that you learned about yourself?
So when I did this, it was interesting because I didn't know, like, oh, should I write a bunch of things about myself? Should I write like a little bit? So I just kind of like, I found myself somewhere in the middle. So I wrote like probably like 15, 16, 15 things. But it was actually super enlightening because it made me realize, like, if I had to give away all these things, because to me, a lot of them were more positive qualities than negative. So, like, my negative qualities they were done by the first bridge. So, moving forward, I really had to determine what was most important to me. So, in the end, I was only left with love and spirituality. And I feel like that's what the essence of me truly comes down to. But it was super enlightening because I kind of always thought that, but like putting it into perspective and then like cutting out all the other things that I thought were super important to me, that was tough to do. It was a difficult exercise, but it was a good one.
And speaking of it being a difficult exercise, Sarah,
Yes.
I already kind of know what you thought about the exercise.
So I did my list. I only put 2 semi-negative things on there, so narrowing it down was just torture. Right away, I crossed off restless and judgmental of myself. And then I had to cross off other things like bubbly, giving, beautiful, strong, random, and funny. But some of those, the more I thought about it, they can be incorporated into other things. So I'm outgoing, a warrior, which I feel like encompasses so many of the things that I had crossed out anyway, dog lover, and smart. So I think that accurately describes me. And yeah, I just was not a fan of crossing off all these things until I realized exactly like how I could group them and make it work.
Nice. And then ultimately, that exercise leads you to some questions to analyze where are you spending your time. So we did this really quick together in the group, but these worksheets were made available to the people that came to the event. And because we're talking about it today, these worksheets are going to be available to you. So we're going to put those links in the chat along with a bunch of other links of everything else that we talked about today. So check that out and you can do this exercise yourself. And you can take some time so you can make a really nice long list of all of your qualities and then start taking the 30%. So that is available with another exercise called What Makes My Heart Sing. And this is an activity to figure out what kind of activities do you like spending your time doing. Why is this important? It's important because you are the creator of your life. No matter what your circumstances up to this point, as soon as you decide that you're going to start shaping your life in a certain way, things will start to come to you so you can get there. Resources will come to you, people will come to you, but you've got to be clear about what it is that you want. So this exercise is going to help you determine, how do you like to spend your time? If you didn't have to worry about survival and money and paying the bills and all of this stuff that's the everyday stressors, and you just had the opportunity to spend your time however you wanted, how would you do it? So those are my 2 worksheets. And then Sarah went on with some great branding stuff, because now we're going to start to shift. There's a great shift at the beginning where we're still talking about ourselves. And next time we meet, next month, we're going to talk about who our gifts are for. So Sarah, I would like you to do a little recap for us about what your presentation was about. What kind of worksheets did you make available to us to fill out, why they're important?
For sure. So we started out with an all about me. Your
Sorry, Sarah, wrong one. Go ahead.
we started out with an all about me sheet, mostly to start thinking more about your values, what's important to you, things like that, which helps kind of get into building your brand. We then went into finding your brand's archetype. So there's actually a really cool quiz that Kay Putnam does on her website. I'm sure Heidi can put the link in the chat. And so once you find out your archetype, and then it kind of gives you ideas of how to incorporate it into your brand. And then I went on to the colors, because a lot of people don't realize that the colors they use in their brand actually says a lot about their brand.
Okay, I want to go back to the archetype thing, because that was probably the coolest thing ever. That little quiz thing, I was frustrated with it. Remember, I was like, yes. Oh, Sarah, this is hard. But you're not supposed to think about it too much. And
no, you just do whatever. And so the thing is, if you are working on your personal brand, then obviously answer the questions about you personally. If you're trying to brand a business, answer the questions about how you want the business to look and how you want it to feel to other people. So the whole point is just to go through and just first thing that comes to mind, click it, next.
I really like what you said about whether you're branding yourself or you're branding your business, or in this case, your band.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't realize, and I went most of my life not realizing until I learned more about branding, that everybody has a brand. Mm-hmm. Your brand is the things you do consistently every day, the kind of clothing that you choose to wear, the kind of things that you spend your time doing, the way that you communicate with people, the way that you follow through. This is all of your brand. It's about being consistent with a certain behavior.
And the reason it's so important to brand yourself is because if you don't brand yourself, other people will brand you for you. So keep that in mind. And if you want your brand to be presented a certain way, then every day you live that brand out loud and unapologetically.
I love that, Sarah. I love that. So, Mike, you also did this exercise, the quiz.
Yeah.
What did you think about that part of the meeting?
I loved this part of the meeting because that quiz was so fun. I like doing stuff like that, just like on the regular, but to like put into perspective about like your own brand and what you're trying to represent, that was super cool because I realized like I got what was mine? Mysterious? Was it? No, not Mysterious. Was that one of them? No, you know.
I believe so. It was.
Damn, yeah. So that's the one that I got, and it was so cool because I feel like it describes me perfectly, and now it gives me like some kind of insight on how to take that and build a brand around it and get the attention from the people that are like-minded like that. I love this exercise because now I have a whole different understanding to something that I wasn't even paying attention to before. It's just super important too. I was just missing it.
And I really loved mine because I filled mine out from the perspective of this musician, Heidsland music and that kind of thing. And I got Maverick, which has a little bit of rebelliousness in it. And then the other cool thing about this quiz is it tells you what other brands are similar to you. So when we get to the like what brands are similar to me, what pops up? MTV. And I'm like, yeah, like nailed it. So super cool question. Sorry, Sarah, I cut you off. What were you gonna say?
You're dead. Mike, was it magician?
It was magician. That's what it was. Yes.
Okay, so really quickly, the magician, you give us hope to achieve things that seem impossible. You connect people to either an inner or spiritual power and help them to dream bigger than they have ever dreamt before. People are fascinated by the weird way you accomplish the things you do. What are your tools, techniques, or processes you use to accomplish the things you do? People are very curious about this.
I feel like that's accurate.
So it's actually kind of funny because she went through this list in the training that I did with her yesterday, and all three of ours are back to back. So Maverick, you are bold enough to destroy what is not working in the world. You want to burn down the processes, structures, and anything that no longer is serving the world. That's you, Heidi. You speak up for those who cannot or will not speak for themselves. You also say what nobody else will say, but they're all thinking. You're an independent speaker and thinker.
Yes, I felt that was accurate.
Mine was the royal archetype. So you remind people to think big while also expecting high standards from yourself and others. You are the standard definer who shows people what it means to achieve, whether it's monetarily or socially, through high standards. People want more of what you have, and you help them shed light or shed the limiting beliefs that hold them back from getting it.
Again, accurate, I feel like. But okay, we got to move on from that, and we got to start talking about colors before we run out of time.
Yes, so that all leads into this whole color thing.
Even if you weren't there for the meeting, to be able to do all of this stuff beforehand, we figured the colors was a great thing to talk about today, because even if you haven't done that, you can kind of start to think about what qualities are you, and how does that translate to colors? So what color are you? Sarah, I've got your color sheet showing. You guys see this?
Yes.
Okay. Tell us
Can
more
you scroll
about
down a
color.
little bit, please? Because there are others at the bottom as well. I know
I tried to get all on one screen, but it just
it's all good. I just wanted people to see that there is more to the sheet. So when I was coming up with Wonderlust Elevated, I really, really had to fight my inner wanting to make my logo and my branding pink, because that's my personal brand. And that's my personal branding color. Everybody knows I'm pink, sparkly, dog lover, lily lover. And so I kind of had to separate that from what I wanted with my brand. That being said, I wanted my brand to kind of have that luxurious, successful prosperity feel, with a little bit of mystery about like, oh, what is she going to teach us next? And so that's why I ended up choosing purple and gold, because as you see on the sheets, that's exactly what those colors mean. And the fact that, you know, I carry my Michael Kors or my Kate Spade bags and wear my Lilly Pulitzer clothes every day, kind of brings in the luxury from my business brand, kind of brings it back to my personal brand as well. So there is a way to kind of live those brands, whether it's personal or business brand, and kind of let it show through, because that's the biggest thing. Like I said, when I first started networking, I was told, be your brand, like be known for something. And so I said, okay, I'm going to go in being known as the girl who wears Lilly Pulitzer all the time. That's great. That's one of the things I'm known for. But I also ended up being known as the crazy dog mom, which is, like I said, if you don't brand yourself, other people will brand you. And that was one of the brands that kind of stuck with me, and I own it. I love my dogs. They are my children. And if you know anything about me, the first 5 minutes in a conversation, I'm already talking about my dogs and showing all the pictures.
I'm surprised that didn't actually happen in this conversation. Like, yeah, I'm Sarah Pace, but here are my dogs.
Exactly.
I'm surprised you don't have like a little picture of them like on every one of your worksheets. I think
I know.
that would be inspiring. You might have to add that.
I mean, they're on my website. If you go to the About Me, they are under the Meet the Team.
Very nice. I knew that you wouldn't cut them out of, your business. It's a family business.
Yes.
So Mike, you looked at this, you looked at your colors. Right now, what are your colors for swear words?
So right now, recently I did like a switch of my colors before I even knew about the colors, and I ended up using Super Mario colors. So it's like it's red, blue, green, and yellow. So not bad for I guess
Yeah.
what I'm trying to do.
Hey Sarah, is there an amount of colors like you should use? Like you should only have like two or three or
So
Yeah.
usually you want like 2 or 3 main colors,
Mhm.
but then you want some accenting colors, maybe like white or black or gray or something to just kind of accent, because if you only use those same 2 or 3 colors, it's going to get boring after a while.
Yeah.
So then you just use some of these other colors to add in highlights or lowlights.
Okay, awesome. Awesome. I love that.
Okay. Yeah.
So I know for my logo for my band Mast, we use gold, silver, bronze, and other metallics. We pretty much like change our logo within that. So I like what that stands for. That kind of fits our mission, I think so. But when we put that together, we definitely weren't looking at what the colors meant.
Mhm.
So this has
Yes.
been pretty enlightening, Sarah.
Thank
Yes,
you.
exactly.
And if you are kind of like Mike said, where you did your branding, but you didn't really think about the colors, and you
Mhm.
want to change your colors and kind of go through a rebrand that way, please reach out to me. I do a free 30-minute consult so we can kind of talk about what we're dealing with and what our next steps are. And a lot of times I can keep your same logo and just add in, like change out the colors and still keep it looking consistent.
Ooh. Okay, so I was doing some experimenting here and I just put every single link that we were talking about today in the chat. You can see it all pops up here at the bottom. Didn't know it was going to do that. I hit show. And anyway, that is in the comments. And
Is
you can
the
um,
can we
just your
add the
public link is in there because what you were talking about with your presentation and everything is included in my free gift for today that's in our resource center. So if you were unable to make our meeting on Monday, maybe Mondays are really not a good time for you because this is such an important piece that you might be missing. We have it available free to you for a limited time, only until the end of March. That allows you to get caught up before next meeting where we're going to have Sarah back on. And we're going to change our focus then from who we are, what we value, what we stand for, to who is that for, and learning more about that portion of it. So the link for that is in all of that mess of links. And just to kind of, let's see, can I put that? Here we go. I'll put that in the chat separately. We'll work on this link thing in the chat. There you go. I like this. I like how it does this thing on the bottom of the screen. That's nice. Every week we learn something new here at AAM. It's great. All right, Sarah, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing this information.
you.
Colors are fun, man, but they mean something.
Yeah.
So choose your colors wisely.
So, one thing I challenge you guys to do while you're out and about or looking online, pay attention to the different brands and see if you start noticing like a lot of the banking and financial brands use this color, a lot of the restaurants use this color. Why? And just
Yeah,
kind of pay attention to those common themes and see if you can figure out why they chose to use those.
yeah.
I love it.
The first thing I thought of was McDonald's, how they went from red and yellow, and now they're like professionalism, right? Like the gray
Yeah.
and the brown and the black. Interesting.
Yes. I've heard, I don't know if this is true, but I've heard that a lot of the fast food restaurants use red in their branding because red like somehow subconsciously makes people hungry.
I've heard that.
too.
So again, I don't know if there's any truth to that. I'll have to research it and let you know next month, but that's what I've heard.
Smart.
Awesome. Well, Mike, thanks again for co-hosting with me. And if you've got some time, tune in right now to the Essential Academies International Summit. And we'll see you guys next week.
Thanks, y'all. Bye.
Bye.